Hey, what's going on, everybody? Mark from Soooooo Games, and today we're going to talk about the Secret Lair Phyrexian Praetor drop. So basically, this set is so Secret Lairs, for all those that don't know, is a special set of Magic Gathering that's sold directly by Magic. So what they do is they ship you the cards directly. You only buy a certain set. So usually they come in packs of 5 cards. Could be up to 7, sometimes lower, like 3. But usually you get those cards in a special, usually new art, foil, non-foil is your choice, in this little nice packaging. The key is this is direct from Wizards. You basically can't do this. You can't buy this from game stores. You can't buy this, you can't buy it off Amazon. And eBay, of course, is just going to be resold by other sellers. So that's what it is. That's what Secret Lair is. Now, something special happened in the Phyrexian text Praetor edition, right? And that is they included the special list cards. Now, with all Secret Lairs, you get your 5 cards. That's normally part of the Secret Lair. So these are the Praetors. And then you get a bonus card on the back. So normally for the Phyrexian Praetor sets, they have a, I think it's a Phyrexian text swamp in the back as your bonus. But for me, I bought maybe, what did I buy? I bought 6 of these. So a couple foils, a couple non-foils. But I was lucky enough to get one of the special numbered cards in the back. So what are these? Basically, Wizards decided that they wanted to do something similar to the baseball card world and basically share with everybody these numbered cards. What these are is a, so this card is a Viscera Seer, pretty common if you play any sacrifice type of decks in Commander. It's good because this card basically allows you to sacrifice creatures without tapping. You can lay this thing down and start your sacrifice combo in your engine. The scrying is not really that useful. I mean, it's good, but it's not like the key point. The key point is that he can sacrifice endlessly his creatures without tapping mana, without tapping himself, so you can just do it right away. And it's 1 mana, so almost always you can get the combo to go off. Now, what is very special about this is, of course, that this is what they call the number series. So this first, you can see this is a reverse foil. Wizards have never done anything like this where a Magic card is kind of printed reverse. So you can imagine if this is the base plate for printing, you print this way and you'll get a Viscera Seer, right? But this is kind of like the mirror reverse of the other Viscera Seer. I wish you know what, now I think about it, I should bring a Viscera Seer and show you the mirror image here. Anyways, I don't have one handy right now, so it is what it is. But the other cool part is you'll notice here it says number 28 out of 100, right? What does that mean? So these cards come in packs of, basically that means that there are only 100 cards of this printed ever. Now, I don't know if the future of these numbered cards are going to be that they're going to reprint this again and now there's more, like something out of 100. Or maybe it's going to be something out of 200, so now we go up the number. I don't know, right? So long term, I have no clue what this means. What I do know is this is the first time Wizards haven't ever done anything like this. And there are only 100 of these in the world, and every one of them is unique, right? So this is the thing. Now, there are 100 of Viscera Seers, but every one of them is 1 of 1. So, for example, if you have number 1 out of 100, probably worth a lot of money. A number 100 out of 100, probably worth a lot of money. 77, 33, these other numbers, 66 probably, are going to be worth a lot of money. Of course, 69, right? For obviously fun reasons. So those are going to be worth more. Now, my 28 may not be worth that much, but it is number 28 and it is also 1 of 1. So here's the thing. How much are cards like this worth? Who knows? The reality of this is, you'll see a lot of people on one side, they'll say, this card is more rare than a Black Lotus because how many Black Lotus were printed? If we take the alpha printing of Black Lotuses and number of rares, etc. It seems to be the current estimate is around 1,100-ish. Now, throughout all the years, many of them probably got damaged, replaced, fire burned, water damaged, lost, stolen, dropped in a trash can, somebody stepped on it, etc. Right? So how many actual alpha Black Lotuses are out there? Probably not that many. Maybe I want to say, and in near mint condition, probably maybe like, I would say less than 500, less than like maybe even 200 in near mint condition, maybe even less than 50, I don't know. But if you were to say, is this card more rare than Alpha Black Lotus? Yeah, because there's only 100 of these printed, right? And who knows, maybe some of these Praetor sets, whatever, just got lost in mail, right? crushed, destroyed, whatever happened. Somebody got this thing, got too excited, jumped on it, now it's destroyed, right? There's only 100 cards of this to begin with. Now, because of the collectability, we all know this is collectible. So the people who open these will, of course, take better care of them. So I can see that aspect of it as well. So I think there's two parts of this for sure. So what I will leave with this is this. Wizard is changing how they market the collectability of this game long term, right? So obviously that just means that if this is more rare than Black Lotus, does this mean that this is now worth, I don't know, $10,000, $20,000, $100,000 sometime in the future? And if you look at it from the perspective of Black Lotus, this is the first one that they've done. Now, Viscera Seer is not like that amazing. Imagine if they printed like a Snapcaster Mage, Crater Hoof Behemoth, these kind of like really super popular Commander, modern type of like standard cards, right? And they number them, they're going to be worth a lot of money too. Because now, not only are they a collector piece, they're something that's actually playable, right? So the demand for them will be higher. I'm not saying Viscera Seer is not playable. Viscera Seer is a very playable card. But I don't think anyone's really going to pull out one of these in a deck just because they're afraid of things like damage, stealing, etc., right? So there's always that problem. That's why I think this mostly just sits in people's binders, collectible, like myself, right? I'm not really going to play with this card. I have it. I'm not even going to remove it from its plastic original factory seal. I probably just will, put it inside some sort of binder or something, and then just leave it there forever. The reality of this thing is, how much is it worth? Now, I've seen people online selling cards like this. I think number 77 sold for around 5,000. I've seen the first one was, I think, 17 or something, sold for around like 3,000 something, 4,000. I've seen a couple low ones around like 1,500, 2,000. They're all over the map. The reality is, if this card is selling for that much now, let's just put a bottom price of 2,000. What do you think long term this is? Because there are going to be people like me who take this card and never want to sell it. We just put it away. So the price goes up as more and more of these go into the hands of collectors, and then you have people who really want these cards. And then what happens? Well, there's only one of them for sale. The price is whatever that person wants to sell it for. There's no market price. There's only 100 of these, and each one are individually unique. You don't have to care about the card, but the people who do care about the card will pay a lot of money for it. So that's the reality of something like this. Okay, so that's that. Let's talk about some of the negatives of this thing, right? First thing is, what does this mean long-term for Wizards? It does mean that they are trying to move into a collectible world, which could be good, could be negative. I don't know long-term what that means yet, but it does mean that they are making shifts and making changes. And you know what I love about companies is that I think a company that doesn't make changes will die. So the fact that Wizards making a move on things like this is a positive sign. No matter what other people say, I guarantee you the fact that Wizard is making this change is a very positive thing. Now, the problem is this. There are other issues that Wizards needs to address right now to kind of fix problems in their basically lack of interest, apathy within their game currently. And what are those things, right? So the first thing is just this kind of like print to oblivion concept that people kind of feel. Now, I kind of think long term, what do people want, right? So the players want more cards. They want cards that are accessible. They don't want Hullbreaker, for example, to be $10 a card. They also want to have abundant access, and maybe in some cases they don't even want a Hullbreaker because a Hullbreaker card is too good, right? So they're those players who are sitting in that pile. Then there are collectors who want every card to be worth a lot of money because they don't even play the game. All they want to do, like Rudy, just hold the card and hold it forever. So there are cases like that too. I think there's a nice balance that a lot of other games are maybe trying to find. I think Flesh and Blood is finding that balance really well. That they have cards worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, and this is a 1-year-old game. But at the same time, the cards that are playable, the cards that are necessary to play the game, are fairly cheap. Like, you can pick up most of the very necessary cards, like a couple bucks. Maybe some of the other ones, maybe $10 or so. There's nothing like super crazy. And even those prices, $10, I think they'll come down as they print more products. And LSS is, unlike Wizards, is all about making sure players have access to the game, but also making sure collectors have something collectible. So that's why they implement the whole cold foil system. We'll talk about it in a different video. That makes collectability and playability very possible. I think Wizards trying something like that, but in a different light, right? They're making explicitly collectible items like this that doesn't affect playability. I mean, there are plenty of Viscera Seers in the world. You don't really need this one to play, right? In addition, I think long-term, they're just going to try different things. Who knows what they actually try? They might try something that's separate from what they actually do now. They might do more collectible cards like this. They might make a lot more like masterpieces like what they've done in the past with Amonkhet, Kaladesh, that kind of era. They might go a totally different route, which is let's just make the game abundantly available for players and really go the player route and just sell the packs, right? And the individual cards, singles don't matter. But then that destroys their secret layer side of things. So think about it from Wizards thinking about this problem from Wizards perspective. I think they're going to make more single cards worth money, right? This is kind of true. Because otherwise, how do you sell a secret layer if you don't have cards that are worth like 20, 30, 40 bucks? So that's the key, right? So why is this set so amazing? Because the Praetors are very expensive, right? Prior to the secret layer drop. Now, because they printed it into the secret layer, these cards are coming down a little bit. The problem with these cards in general for play is they're very oppressive. So obviously, if you're playing with friends, you probably won't be pulling out Praetors unless it's just kind of like a fun thing, and you know. But oppressive cards are great for competitive EDH, right? And so there are cases where people want these cards. They also don't want to pay like 40 bucks a card. So the easiest way is through the secret layers. But that also means Wizards has to maintain the cards. So what I'm thinking is, I'm pretty sure they won't be printing Elesh Norn like, you know, in a standard booster box set ever again. Fetch lands will never be in a standard set again. I think other things like shocks, they're probably going to start holding back on a little bit more. Why? Because they can print into secret layer. They've shown that, right? So the secret layer that's for the shock lands sold really well. And even though it's very predatory what they did with that series, it sold very well. And the reality of that is if it sells well, the market is telling you, hey, I want this thing. Why would I give it to you any other way? So that's why, like, for example, if you look at Infinity, it's a specialty set. It has shock lands, but it's kind of hard to get them, right? So, and it's not going to be 80 bucks, 90 bucks, 100 bucks for a booster box. It looks like the open market right now is around 140. So more like a Time Spiral Remastered out of the gate price. Now, you know what happened to Time Spiral Remastered last year, right? It was out of the gate 150, 180, that kind of price, jumped up to 300. And now it's pretty much at 300, not coming down. Why? Because there's low supply, right? Of course, then they dumped a bunch on Amazon, so Amazon has them. So who knows what happens this year? Maybe Amazon still has a bunch of Infinity this year too. And so the game stores won't have them. You'll have artificial scarcity, and the price will come down. Maybe there will be actual scarcity, and guess what? Shocklands will have to wait another year. Anyways, that's just kind of some thoughts. I think it's really cool that they do this. Oh, one last thing. This is a huge problem for me. Is you know, for Wizards to sell premium products like this, and for them to sell something as premium as this, the fact that they still can't solve their curling problem. Here, I'll get a straight card here. So there's a token card. Just look at that split too, right? So look at the split of the cards. The fact that we're how many years past now and we still haven't solved the curling issue is a big problem. I don't understand why Wizards still cannot do this properly. This is in a sealed bag. There's not air coming in and out of this thing, which means that the humidity is already inside the pack before they packaged it. This is a collectible card. Can we just make sure curling is not a problem? And you know, for everyone else who's going to come to me and say, "Oh, you know, that's the way that this works," open some Flesh and Blood packs. Look at the curling on their foils, and then come back to me, because I guarantee you, once you see that there are printers and there are ways to print cards that don't curl, you'll realize how shitty these are. So that's my opinion. All right, thanks everybody. This is Mark from Soooooo Games. I hope you enjoyed that video. It's kind of cool. I am now the holder of number 28 out of 100. I have this card listed on eBay for a crazy amount of money. Please don't buy it. The point of this is not to say that I want to sell the card. The point of this is what I believe today this card will be worth, and what I think long term this card is worth for me. Now that price probably will just keep going up. It will keep going up to a price that no one will pay, and that's the point. So yeah, that's it. All right, this is Mark from Soooooo Games. I will see you next time.